All right. Would you all join us for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Hello. Not your chair here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Yeah, well, let's get started. Before we call the board meeting to order, we do have a public hearing this evening regarding the Barn Door Baking Company and their entertainment and special amusement permit. You all set, Andrea?
Yeah.
Yep. Do we have anybody here? I don't think we know you two, so you're, yeah. Are there any questions, comments regarding the entertainment special amusement permit? Anybody? Nope. Good. Okay. And hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. And with that, I'll open the Damariscotta Select Board meeting of May 3rd and call to order. So we can cruise down through an order. There's nobody here from normally we'll move the application up, but since nobody's here waiting for it, we'll just stay in order. Is that fine with everybody?
Yep.
So, all right. So we have minutes of April 19th. Tom, I think you had some amendments you sent through.
Yep.
For that. Anybody else have any additions? So, okay. Are you all set with the did the amendments come through and
They're on the, I made them on the copy.
got them on the
signing,
copy?
yeah.
Okay. Yep. So do I hear a motion to approve the April 19th minutes?
Make a motion to approve.
Thank you,
Second.
Josh. Tom's going to second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, we're good there. Motion carries. And
Since with amendments, are those the ones that you sent me with the executive session?
No, those are the ones Tom mentioned in an email over the weekend after I sent the packets out. Okay,
Okay.
I'll forward.
and they're recorded. They're on the document here, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Financial reports. I think everybody's had a chance to look at. We've got payroll 51.
I'll make a motion to approve payroll warrant 51.
Thank you,
Second.
Josh. Lou seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries. And we have accounts payable number 52.
I'll make a motion to approve accounts payable warrant 52.
All right, Josh moves that. Do I have a second? Lou's going to second. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor? Okay, motion carries. All right, Andy, we had some additions here for citizens' comments, general correspondence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just quick, and one of them is just a letter where the board was CC'd. It was a letter to
Yeah.
the trustees from David Belknap. Patty and Lorraine are working on a draft to
Yeah.
respond to that. So
Okay.
I'm just sharing that as it came in as a CC for you.
Everybody get a chance to see that. It's currently on the
Yeah.
back page of our packet, right? So that's being worked on through the committee and, yeah.
The other one that came in last week was from the DOT. Just a correspondence regarding the roundabout at Belvedere and Route 1. So they're inching along for that to happen, and so they're sharing some plans
Okay.
for traffic flow. And there's opportunities for public preliminary virtual public meeting for the project will be scheduled as soon as existing condition survey is completed.
But
Okay.
haven't they started it already? They've already started digging up the road.
That's just the LCP, or I don't know if it's LCP, but it's just a treatment for the road surface.
Oh, it's not related to the roundabout. that's
No,
going in.
no.
Okay.
No, that's, yeah, and we'll just have to, that's going to generate probably a lot of public comment and whatnot. So we just want to, yeah, make sure we're ahead of it and.
I guess the only thing for like the traffic measures like coming off Belvedere on the business one, whether or not they're gonna put like one of those temporary traffic lights there.
Mhm.
And I have some concerns about the track trailers turning out of there to go north.
This is
Yep.
not during
Ah.
construction, but just for a final product or during.
No, when they do the
Yeah.
construction, when they do
During the
the,
construction.
During
they
the
do the temporary traffic measures.
Well, they said they were gonna close that road
No, they're
No.
gonna send
partly.
the
You're gonna send someone around.
the north that way and
Yeah.
southbound is going still on Route 1.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
It'd be an interesting project and it's going to generate a lot of public interest. So.
I just know that there could be some issues there.
Yeah, Yeah.
speaking from
So they're-
experience
Well,
and
that's why we put a
Time-
roundabout in too.
time of year when they do that. you
Yeah,
know,
that's
if
one of
it's
the
in
things they were asking
If
for.
it's in the
was-
winter time, you know, that's
Mhm.
gonna be extra added treatments of salt to keep that.
Mm,
So,
Yeah. I would, it would be interesting if they would do at their, at whatever public meeting they have, or if we can encourage them to have a public meeting if need be. If, they could provide the presentation that they provided here for the board, what, a year ago?
Yeah.
It was actually very interesting. I think we all learned quite a bit from it. We were skeptical about the idea of a roundabout. But the information was compelling. So hopefully, if need be, we can get them to come back and present if they need to the interested public. So,
and I guess
Yep.
a construction timeline is another thing. If they had anything, once they get ready to put it
Yeah.
out to bid.
And that was shared with all the department heads, committee chairs, as they asked in there, and I did share it with Liz and Coastal Rivers as they manage the IF&W property where the cemetery
Yeah.
is in the middle of.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So if there's others, we'll get it to them, but
Yeah, no, there'll be a lot of folks interested in it. So we'll be prepared best we can.
Do we have any idea when they're thinking about doing it?
it's on the DOT work plan, I think is 2025.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But they'll have to hammer out, time of year and stuff. That's,
Right.
hopefully it. We'll see.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, all right, well, we can move right along here. Andrew, I think we have some updates on town projects and whatnot.
Yes, Miles Street, just about everything underground, at least at the intersection there, Schooner Street.
Yeah.
Been buttoned up, and before the rain event, seemed to hold up pretty well during the big deluge of water there.
What?
And
It rained.
the culverts worked as they needed to.
Awesome.
Which was nice.
It's always nerve wracking with an open project like that,
Yep.
with, good Lord. So hopefully that's good. If it held up now, that's a good sign, right? Yeah.
So I think, what we had Sunday and into Monday probably is certainly delaying some of what they anticipated getting done this week out there. I did see a
Yeah.
truck down there. I don't know if they were starting to bring in gravel or not today, but they were dealing with issues in a couple towns as a result of the rain, and they were down on Bristol Road dealing with a water main break again today. So
Yes, I know.
Yeah. Could you? I didn't know about that till just now when you guys mentioned it. Yeah. Okay.
added some notes there about the change order, so that we know about the pipe, that the 48-inch pipe they were going to put in. They had to do 2 30-inch pipes.
Yeah.
So I'm anticipating we'll see that come in. We don't have that yet, but I'm assuming we'll see that as a change order for the next meeting probably. They've been sending stuff almost weekly for at the end of the week for pay requisitions. So the engineer's reviewing the last 2 that came in. Just making sure we're good to go there. So
Okay.
Egypt Road kind of is where it is at the moment. We're waiting for the water levels to kind of go down where that sinkhole appeared. They kind of stopped the base coat there, or the shim coat rather there.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have to dig that out. We're planning to just go edge of pavement to edge of pavement, cap the ends, and repair that failed section of culvert under the roadbed.
We'll have that opened up now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think we got sabotaged.
Well, after we don't actually need the culvert now after the rain.
No.
It's still flowing.
It's
surprised.
crazy. Yeah.
It shouldn't be there. You put two of them, just down from it. And that one stayed in the ground. So it
Yeah.
caught a lot of people by surprise that it was even there.
Yeah. That's gratuitous timing that it popped open, the hole popped open now instead of, yeah.
One of the days we were there looking at it, someone that actually helped put those two newer ones in, stopped as we were looking, and he goes, "Well, I don't think so even knew that one was in there."
No doubt.
So it was
Yeah.
back when they replaced it then. So, and there is a small issue with the ones that are there, is that when they got installed, they are too close
They're
together.
close together on the
So
outside,
some of that
yeah.
material on the road bed above it kind of fell in between them a little bit, until we can see there's some cracking, but some cracking over right on
Yeah.
that seam where those two come together. So while they're there, we're gonna peel the asphalt back over the top of those, dig that out on top of them, put some geotextile down, and then put material back in and pave over it. So hopefully that'll help stabilize and hold that material that we put back in.
Better now than after it was all paved.
With Belvedere Road, that I gave an update yesterday on a couple of things that was included. So they did reclaim that yesterday. They started hauling in gravel yesterday. I think they got about 100 yards in there yesterday, and they brought more in today. So that first turn, get that name of that drive there on the left, you get past the medical building there. They brought that corner up a bit. That was a pretty steep dip. So interested in checking it out. You can kind of see they brought that grade up just a little bit and help that curve. There's a couple other spots where they tried to equalize it a little bit, heading over behind Branch Road. So once they get that in there and get base pavement down, we'll have a much better sense of where we need to get in and get some drainage installed. Just decades probably of little no maintenance on some of those, and there were some driveway culverts that never appear to have gotten installed. So just something we might want to look at if we're basically rebuilding this road right now.
Are we rebuilding it now or we're going to do it in the future?
It's being rebuilt now.
Now,
It's
so
currently
what
working on
is the likely, what is this about the proper drainage?
You're
that-
referring to the second
Right,
paragraph
the
with
second paragraph, yeah.
yeah.
What does that mean, Andy?
So based on the unit pricing we got back in the bid,
Mhm.
I was using that as a benchmark, and I think just something we got to keep an eye on, look at, and decide, I don't think we have the funds at that unit pricing to be able to do all of it. So the contractors, again, reclaimed it now, and once they get that base, they're hoping they get the weather this week or early next week to get the base pavement in there. And again, that'll give us a better sense of where we need to get into, but either look at seeing if there's a way to work with the contractor or put something else out to bid if we can, and just get the worst spots now, because now we have to fall within that timeline of when they're going to get the surface in. It'll probably be 4 weeks anyways, I'm guessing. So we have some time to get in there and do it. I don't want to see us shortchange it if we can avoid it.
Well, if we're there, I mean. if-
It makes sense. We just need the budget to do it.
Absolutely. And where does the money come from?
Well, we're working with the bond proceeds. There's a certain amount of money that we've identified from that.
For this project? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And we need to-
trying to, several projects has been allocated
know.
for, so, it's,
It goes so far.
can only go so far, exactly. Yeah, so Andy's proposing is with the, the mainly with the ditching and culvert work on the road bed is one side of it, but then the ditching and culvert work
Right.
can add up substantially if you go, everything you need to do, but it's, it'll keep plugging away and, yeah.
I mean, feel pretty good about where we should do it now. It's just a matter of figuring out the particulars of, how do we put it out there? Is there a way to potentially work with the existing contractor on a different price, or do we put something out to bid in the interim between the 2 layers of asphalt?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
We'll get it done. It'll get figured out.
so I don't know if that's one that the board wants to look at, or if they want me and Andrew to propose the drainage locations, or how you want to handle that.
I'd be fine with you guys. Yeah, you're working with with Andrew and prioritizing what needs to be, and then
Giving you a recommendation.
recommendation. Yeah.
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 I'll come out and supervise with you.
Oh, she's gonna supervise. All right.
Yeah. Hodgson Street, we needed to get a pre-construction meeting with folks from community development block grant before work gets started and things get purchased. So we're going to look to schedule that in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
Parking lot project, I'm told the committee has made a decision.
You put a paragraph back in there.
I know.
So
Okay,
They
yep.
just don't want to tell us.
They don't want to
They
tell.
just
I
don't
know.
You want to surprise it.
There's been a decision made. We
Yeah.
don't know what it is, but yeah.
So they're waiting on signatures, I guess, on that decision. Contractor we communicate with expected it last week. Still don't have it, so we'll send an email again at the end of
Be
this
a
week.
lot of signatures.
Yeah.
Um, And then working with, I think the sanitary districts in a place now, they meet next week, so just gonna tie that up and hopefully they can get that in front of their board next week and we can resubmit the grant application essentially with them as a co-recipient and hopefully that part will be okay.
Yeah, that'd be good. Get that out of the
Finally.
way.
Other than that, as far as the legislature goes, I copied and included an email that came from the Maine Service Center Coalition, our representative, I guess. So they have someone there that helps represent the interests of that coalition. And the ones that he identified and was tracking were LD 1650, which has to do with the homestead exemption. So there's, as we've said before, a few changes that were proposed there. And then LD 1493, which was talking about increasing affordable housing by expanding the TIF opportunities. I guess those were the two big ones. They were, oh, sorry, LD 130 also was brought up in relation to the homestead exemption. So the two big ones for the homestead exemption, one of the ones that they're looking at was to increase it to $75,000. And then another one that's there is to limit to one, the number of properties that a married couple would be able to get the stabilization for. So if you had two properties and two different names,
primary residence or something, or
Right.
maybe,
So I know that, like we said before, there's a lot of concerns and challenges about how do we move forward with some of those bills around affordability for seniors especially. And I think that just hopefully that work sessions can narrow that down sooner rather than later and get that passed before they close or adjourn.
It'd be nice if they had all this stuff hammered out before they throw this stuff down to the
Yeah, what's the
municipalities, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
And then
I
we're
think
working
usually
on
that's how it
amendments,
works.
and bills, and nobody still doesn't know how it works. So it's like, oh, boy. Yep. Other notes I included in there, the pedestrian safety accessibility collaborative, they had, I believe, mentioned before the desire to see like a handicap accessible dock downtown, if it can be downtown. So that we did have a meeting last Friday with a couple of folks, Matt included as a kayak guide, and Mitch, who runs the shop there on the bridge. So met with them, and this was all following the ask grant that went in. I put us on there as a fiscal sponsor for the $2,500 grant so that they could try and get money to bring someone in to do we were thinking a higher level feasibility, suitability study, a concept of what could go in there and not a full blown engineered, with permit applications filled out kind of thing, but just kind of say, is this going to be a good enough site? And that was the concern because of the thing on the tide. As the tide turns, the rapids that kind of exist under the bypass or the overpass there.
You better believe it.
And of course, going under the bridge under Main Street. And so
Problem waiting to happen.
Yes.
so one of the things we heard from Mitch was, when he's doing guided tours, he kind of explains to people, either he says, just don't go in there, don't go past the bridge, just stay in the river and south of the bridge. Or if it's within a certain window, he says there is about a 3-hour window if you know what to look for, the tide, time of the tide, that you can go in there and spend 3 hours and not have any trouble if you're moderately
It's gotta be
experienced.
about that time, because then you got a problem going back.
Right.
Yeah.
So we talked about, well, we could come up with on our website or something, a guide that, kind of can, it'd take a little bit to put together, but, someone could come up with a way to kind of color code, green, yellow, red for when to do it. And we could put that on our website so people could access it if we wanted to. So that's just something that they're hoping that we could do. And there were other spots in town that they did consider, but we're having a hard time finding the ability to put parking in at that location or the ownership of the land. So looking at either out behind the bank there potentially as a potential spot, or it came up as, well, what about the town docks now? Is there a way
I
to
was just gonna
add
ask,
something there?
something that could be done in
For
existing
that little
area.
cove there off the park,
Mhm.
you could just put another landing with that.
Right.
That might be something to consider if there was any way to.
It's a lot
tie it into the
safer there.
RE.
I think on the other side of that bridge is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
some fast moving water through there sometimes.
There is.
Just a little bit, just a little bit. Probably don't do the, what was it, the whatever race they did?
Oh, that was because they consumed too much
Well,
alcohol.
that was a different reason they stopped that, but the
The
bridge
raft-
usually,
the raft
the
race.
raft race, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh boy, yeah.
We could bring that
I
back.
would. Oh, I hear stories. Yeah,
I went down there a couple times, but I was little.
yeah, yep.
The
Yeah,
land
but-
use violation we talked about the last meeting, we're still following up with former staff. We did meet with the abutters.
Okay.
So we're still following up on that. We don't have anything definitive. There is an appeal that came in when we had the last meeting of that violation that was cited. So working with Amanda on that. Part of the agenda items tonight is to reappoint the members that has terms had expired. We got looking at,
Yeah,
sent an email out the other day
Yeah.
and said,
Little housekeeping
there's only
there, we
two.
need to- Yeah.
two current members on there because the other terms are so we can clean that up and get them to meet with about that. As far as the waterfront, bathrooms are open, docks are in, picnic tables, benches, kayak racks are being worked on as time allows.
So where do they put that 8,000 pound mooring? Is it gonna be right there? in the front?
Currently, so there was a mooring, someone was having a mooring brought to the waterfront so they could put it out in the harbor. They coordinated with the harbor master. Tom happened to be down the other day, that the crane truck was dropping it off. And so it's currently sitting at below the
Oh.
wharf face there until they get a boat to come in or a barge to come in to pull it out.
But no,
That's a big boat to stick in the middle of all that other stuff.
Yeah.
How big a boat?
47-foot sailboat.
wow,
So
yeah,
when
that's a
the-
good size.
The tide moves it around, you got a circumference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Very good size.
The only other thing I had on there for my notes, personnel updates, I was off a week and that was my mistake. But we do have someone for Public Works hired and start next week. And then we have posted Sarah and I have gotten up the planner position, so.
Okay.
There's still a few more
Good.
places to get that posted. We would like to try and get it on the American Planning Association website and Sarah was gonna reach out to the Muskie School and see if they could advertise theirs. People are starting to graduate
Oh,
in
yeah.
that program, so.
Yeah.
We're hopeful.
Are we thinking about sharing again with Newcastle?
Yeah, it's a good partnership. I think it's gonna.
Yeah.
Works out.
I mean, otherwise, we're looking at a part-time, probably contracted, because it doesn't become as
Yeah.
attractive
Right.
Yeah.
without the benefits.
That's good to, yeah, I'm glad we got somebody to Public Works for you guys, so that's good. All right. I think that's all you got there, right? Anything else added in? So we've got we have some action items here to take care of. We can go right down through here, I think, pretty straightforward, but first one we follow up on is number one here with the application for entertainment and special amusement permit for Barn Door Baking Company.
Make a motion that we approve the application for amusement for the Barn Door Baking Company.
Second.
All right, I heard motion in a second, so. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, motion carries. Now. Yeah, do you have two motions on here pursuant to,
Well, one's a public hearing and another one's an official action.
oh, we
Oh,
moved,
we moved that.
yeah, I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
went through the public hearing, moved through and then.
I didn't delete the executive session.
Okay, yeah, that's what, yeah, it
Yeah.
threw me off. I was looking at both those going, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, Tom seconded. We already voted on that. The motion carried. So I'm sorry. Yeah, that confused me for a moment. I'm looking at law enforcement grant. I think that was in the packet. Everybody get a chance to take a peek at that. Yeah. That seems pretty straightforward. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'll make a motion to authorize Chief Warlick to submit an application for the bulletproof vest grant and to use the funds from the department's FY 24 operating budget for our match.
I'll second.
Thank you, Josh. Any discussion? All those in favor? All right, thank you. And let's see, so these are your comp plan committee appointments, correct?
Yeah, we have
Okay.
two that had expressed interest. It had been a few weeks now since they had reached out. One had reached out via the green card, which is a great little piece there. So that was Douglas Morton. And then we have Mary Devlin.
Yep.
I would also like to be appointed to that committee.
All right, sounds good. I'll make a motion to appoint Mary Devlin and Douglas Morton to the Comprehensive Planning Committee.
I'll second.
All right, thank you, Josh. Any discussion? All those in favor? All right, motion carries. The hearing conservation policy. I'm assuming we get a chance to look through that.
I'll make a motion to approve
Second.
the hearing conservation policy.
Josh made a motion. I think Tom seconds. Any discussion?
No,
All those in favor?
and we already started working on it, right, Andy?
The policy is there. We just gotta get,
Yeah.
go through hearing test schedule for
Implementation of it.
baselines and go through that. Yeah, I think we've got all the equipment we're gonna need basically and if we need to get more hearing protection or different types, we can do that.
Andy, where were your, I lost the names on the appointments
Appeals.
for the Board of Appeals.
Yeah,
but
so
we
if
could
you
just do
go
a
to-
blanket appointment, I suppose, if.
Yeah, if you go to page 26,
Why don't you hide
second
them
to
there?
last page there.
I knew it was in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Ah, there you go, right on the back, yeah. Yep, supplement A or, yeah. All right, so we have. Okay, yeah, we don't need to do any with the terms or anything like that. We can just appoint and that's all
They're just 3-year terms.
be good.
right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's three regular
alternate.
seats
Yeah.
open right now. And 2 alternate seats open and
Yeah.
there were 4 regular members and 2 alternates before, so there was a vacancy in one of those regulars. So the 2 that had the full term seats, the 3-year terms, were interested in serving again, which were Wally Schling and Jim Cosgrove. They're both interested in serving. They ran out in 22, so
Mhm.
their term would end in 2025.
Okay,
And then Ann Pinkham and Julie Kaiser were interested in still serving as alternate members, and those are for 1 year.
Yep.
terms.
fair enough. I'll make a motion to appoint Wally Schling and Jim Cosgrove to the Appeals Board for the regular terms and Ann Pinkham and Julie Kaiser for alternates.
Second. All right. Lou
You
second.
do- No,
Was it? I heard Andrea over here. I'm gonna give that one to Andrea.
Andrea,
Oh, Andrea, okay.
Andrea,
I think she snuck in just ahead of you, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Andrea seconded and any discussion? All those in favor? All right.
Abstain.
And Josh gonna abstain, yeah.
wonder why.
Can't imagine.
And our last addition here is the warrant for the secondary education and adult education. Right,
I'll make a motion to approve the secondary education and adult education warrant for town meeting.
thank you, Josh. Do we hear a
Second.
second? Lou's gonna second. Any discussion?
Just that we're tracking down Article 2 on there.
Okay,
Because we've got that amount for adult education in our operating budget.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's on
Gotcha.
here too. So we're just tracking that down to confirm. Cheryl had thought
Yep.
somewhere along the way,
Yeah.
it dropped off of one, was added to the other, and right now it's on both. So
gotcha.
that can be
We'll keep it
addressed on
this one
the,
and take it off us.
that could be addressed on the floor
Sounds
once
good.
we get
Yeah.
clarification on
Yeah.
that. And at
Okay.
whichever meeting it needs to be done at.
Yeah.
Fair enough, fair enough. All those in favor? All right, yeah, motion carries. Okay, I think that was it for action items. Well, we can move into discussion items. Do we have any tonight? Tom, would you like to start
Sure.
down there at the end?
So I met with Heather Leslie, the director of Darling,
Okay, yep.
got a tour down there. She apparently is moving into a different capacity and
Oh, she
will be not around all summer, but she's looking to interview a new director.
Oh,
Um, I'm waiting to get some documentation that she said she sent to me, but will send to me regarding the studies that have been done to date. But I want to reiterate the importance, I think, of making sure that the harbor master brings any new applications to the board, because and this is anecdotal. I haven't verified it, which I intend to do tomorrow, but I just heard today that potentially that a submission down in Bristol was illegal and got overturned by the town after they discovered it, and the harbor master had approved it. But before it went into effect, they contacted the state and overturned it because the application was illegal. So I don't know if that's the case, but it just points out I mean, I'll find out, but it just points out the need for us to be another set of eyes.
Okay.
on- And I intend to follow up with the state. Once I find out who it is that Bristol spoke to in the state, I want to talk to them about what's going on.
Thank you. Yeah, keep everybody in the loop. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
thank you, Tom.
Don't worry.
Yeah. Lou?
I'm glad to see everybody in person instead of
Yes.
through Zoom. It's nice to get back out.
We're happy to, I kept forgetting you were up there on the screen, so I.
I
Pay as much
know.
attention as I should. Oh, thank you. Oh, Andrea.
I was curious as to when we were going to fix paint the sidewalk, paint the crosswalk.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna bring that up too.
Great question.
When it's not raining.
Yeah. Yeah, I get between the
So,
raindrops, so
Andy,
we'll.
did you get the stencils from Camden?
Not yet. The crosswalks themselves, before we get to the stencils, I have the contractor that's gonna come to Newcastle. They thought they'd have no problem sweeping in, getting the crosswalks through Main Street done. I'm gonna see if they have the time to do the directional arrows at Bristol Road as well. Because those take some time for us to get done. And they gave me a price I thought was pretty reasonable to get those, and where they're right there in Newcastle, it shouldn't be a problem.
When do you know when that might be? Not sure yet.
Don't, he knows we'll look, I said sometime before July, so it goes on this budget. Would be nice. Sooner the better, but every town wants the same thing all before the Memorial Day parade pretty much, is when a lot of them try and get it done by, but weather is gonna be a big challenge for them to line that up. We still need to sweep, I think, downtown. He's going out when he can to sweep some of the roads out of town, the intersections, the spots where, and then following this rain, he went out again and
Sweeper.
got some spots where it washed out. We had quite a bit of spillage on Hodgson Street where the water came over Church, the Castner Brook there.
That's
Um,
bad.
And so he had gone and swept
Yes.
that back and off to the side there again. I think there was quite a bit that funneled around on Belvedere Extension off of Main Street. I don't know if anyone saw it, but there was a whole hillside down towards the intersection of Route 1 there that kind of fell into falling into the ditch.
See that?
Yeah.
It was a pretty big piece.
Huh.
Just a piece of grass, just probably, I don't know, Josh, you probably saw it, probably what, 10, 12 foot round.
That was
I
big.
didn't see it. I'll have to take a ride by. Yeah. Oh,
So it's in the works, it's scheduled for someone to do those crosswalks for us when they can, when they come into Newcastle. And then we'll get the follow up on the stencil, and it's not too worried about getting that, but we'll have to get the crosswalks painted before we put the
Because you
stencil.
really.
Surprised you haven't
see 'em
heard
anymore.
from those guys.
yeah.
Which one?
The stencil, was a week ago, I think you asked, right?
Two, probably.
You too?
I'll follow up. Can't do it until we get the crosswalks.
Yeah,
painted
yeah,
anyway.
that's right.
Yeah. No. All right. Josh?
I just want to point out, the storm the other day. I want to thank Andy for getting out and about and communicating with the firemen and everything and all the guys and gals that blocked off roads and did what we needed to do.
Well, and you guys had all hands on deck, 'cause John was away having fun in Florida, I guess.
Yeah, he's on a cruise. So I just want to,
Your deputy has the truck there, so yeah.
I got a text
Yeah.
message from Andy at 6 o'clock in the morning
Yeah.
the other morning saying that Egypt Road was back open, so I could get a hold of
Yeah.
the GSB transportation person, so.
Yeah.
We started early Monday too, so.
Yeah, I know. I did too.
It was a
The
lot.
only casualty you had was a cone, right?
I think so, yeah, we had a couple of cones on Back Meadow. Just
Yeah.
because there was a limb hanging and
One sticking up out of the
when
brush there.
it came down it. Right on one of them.
Yeah.
That's,
It happens.
yeah.
We
That
had a
was,
casualty of a fence at the
up there,
cemetery.
Yeah, as long as
Yeah.
you brought that up, do we hear back from them allowing people to drive over the tack, and also whether or not they're gonna try to increase the price on the shoulder work?
Haven't ironed out the shoulder work. We've expressed that we don't expect to pay anything extra for that areas that we're getting the additional shim. The areas that are going to have that reclaim section that we did, I don't
That
think
was
that
part-
was built in.
I think that was
Maybe
part of it,
was.
though.
Okay. Couldn't remember one way or the other on that, but we did express that. As far as the driving on the tack, I mean, I'd rely on the engineer to tell us, what's okay and not okay on that. I mean,
It wasn't okay.
There's
What?
times where you'll see,
Yeah.
you know, projects and pavement projects happen where they've got
Yeah,
long
no, no,
stretches.
I'm
and
just saying,
So
I
you
thought
get into
we,
that and.
I thought we were gonna tell them not to do that.
We did.
You know,
Yeah.
So those are the engineers being, yeah, they're communicating, so.
Alright.
We'll go from there. So,
Yeah, I think that's it. I had rain out tonight, so you may not see me for
all right.
another month and a half. So
Snow, so I'll, yeah, we still got stuff to sign there.
Yeah. after that,
We, yeah, to build off of Josh there, I'll say that, yeah, our poor little highway department which consists of you and the town manager, was, yeah, doing some extra duty. And I think I suggested to somebody that you might have needed a kayak there the other day to do your duties. So, but we appreciate you guys being out and doing that. So, that's all I have to add. So if somebody wants to make a motion to adjourn, I won't argue with them.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right, Josh made a motion. Do I hear a second?
so,
Tom,
this time, Lou.
I think that was Lou. I think Lou,
Yeah,
yeah, that was
you beat me
definitely
up.
Lou. Any discussion? All those in favor?
I voted. in
All
favor.
right, Josh's hand is up as well.
Yep.
Okay, we are so adjourned.
You're gonna abstain to that. huh?
We just, from the adjournment. We just have to finish up. We've got a